Hello, everyone. In today's episode, we'll have a very special guest here, and that is none other than Hung Yi.
Hi everyone, nice to meet all of you.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to bring her here today because we have known each other for a very long time, about
7 years already.
right.
Yes.
So in that 7 years in itself, many things have changed for us, and we met each other as coaches along the way. And in this process, you actually venture out to do your own practice.
Yes.
That was how long ago?
So that was 3 years ago, and for you it's probably 1 year, right?
Yes, I started January 2025, so yes, 1 year. And there is also the desire for me to learn from you and your journey and experiences, so that's also why, it brings us here today.
Yeah, and I think there were definitely things that were unexpected. Happy to share what I know and also to exchange pointers on what will work for different people in the same journey as well.
Exactly. All right, so today's topic, we will be talking about our journey. Why did we choose the work that we do? And how was it like? What are the surprises we had along the way? And also, what kept us going? So before we dive in proper, let's introduce ourselves properly first. Hang Yi, why don't you go first?
Sure. Hi everyone, I'm Hung Yi, and nice to meet all of you here. I'm a leadership and career transition coach. So I've been in coaching for 8 years already and 15 years of corporate experience. I think how I got into the journey is because I myself has been through many career transitions, from banking to strategy to HR, and then now doing my own thing, running my own coaching practice. I help many leaders as well as career professionals who are looking at the next stage of their career, next stage of their life, to figure out, hey, how do I really succeed in my life? What does my next stage really look like? And what I help them do a lot is to not just have the clarity, but to manifest towards that. And that to me is also to help them to lead a meaningful and purposeful life. So that's a bit about me actually.
All right. So if you use one word to summarize what you do, what would that be?
I would say that the word is actually magic.
Okay, why magic?
Because magic is not just about helping people see possibilities, but in my world, helping them also see that they can achieve it, and more importantly, actually being in the journey with them to achieve that possibility, to let them see that I have done it when initially maybe I thought I couldn't. That to me is really magical, the possibility and the achieving of that.
Thank you for sharing. I really love the possibilities because we are in the environment that we grow up in, we don't really get a chance to. Okay, I really love possibilities in the sense of I feel like there's a lot of wonder in this world, which I believe that's something that resonates strongly
Definitely.
with you. Yeah, and many people can actually love what they do so much more, and that's also why I chose what I do. So hi everyone, for myself, I'm a clarity coach, and for me, my clarity that I want to give my clients is about them being clearer about themselves, clearer about what they love, clearer about what they want to do, and to actually move towards them and shine as who they are. I believe that if we actually love what we do, we are able to shine, and everyone will be shining in our own different ways, and the world would look a lot more beautiful this way. So that's what I stand for. I also come from a background where I did my own searching, right? Remember? Yeah, so I came from digital marketing for a long while. I did all the functions in marketing possible. And then after that, I went over to doing technology, being a product manager before jumping into full-time for this. So it has been a very interesting journey for me. I would say that's the word for that.
And I guess that's why we are here talking about our own journeys, seeing how magic could happen, seeing how we can actually shine more and help people shine more as well, right?
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So this episode is really for a certain group of people that we want to reach. Who would that be?
Well, if you are someone who have been wondering or quietly pondering, is that all that is to career or my life? Or I don't really want to do corporate anymore. What can I do beyond that? Or how can I change my path in corporate? Or even, hey, I actually am okay with my job, but I want to figure out what's more to that. Well, then this episode is probably something for you.
And we're going to share about how we actually walk our paths towards this and how we found fulfillment. So the quick checkpoint is if you feel stuck in but don't really know what to do, or don't know why, that's something we definitely can resonate with. Or if you are doing well but you're not fulfilled, that is also something that we've been through somewhere along the line. And also the fear of choosing, like I'm scared, I want but I'm scared, so this is also something that would be useful for you. Right, so how did we actually begin this journey, right? Why did we choose this path in the first place? And when we say this path, what do we actually even mean? Okay, so let's start with that. So, Hung Yi, how did you transition out from corporate to your own practice?
To be honest, it actually took quite a few years for me to figure it out. Like, I had moved around quite a bit in corporate. I've moved from banking in Credit Suisse to doing consulting in BCG, and then going strategy in CapitaLand, and eventually ended up in HR in Shopee. Then finally, I've done my own thing. So for me, it was trying to figure out, how do I really make an impact on people? When I look at the entire journey, it was really about that. At each step that I did, I moved closer. But at the same time, there was at one point that I felt that, hey, in corporate, I cannot make the impact on people in the way that I wanted. I think it was at that point I decided, okay, I've done what I wanted in corporate. Let me take the next step to do what I truly love and make the direct impact on people that I want. That's kind of for me. Yeah. So I actually started learning to coach 8 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And actually at that point in time, I already thought of doing my own coaching business. It's like, hey, I can make an impact. But there were many fears. Like, what if it fails? What if I don't succeed? Can I come back to corporate? It feels like there's so much uncertainty. Can I still live the type of lifestyle that I want to? So there were many, many, many fears. And guess what I did?
What do you do?
Well, I got myself a coach for that.
Okay, fair enough.
And through that, what I realized was that I wasn't ready to make that big leap.
Okay.
But what I also realized was that I can always do something to get myself closer to my aim of helping people in a direct way. So that's how I actually make the shift from strategy in CapitaLand to HR in corporate. And along the way, I was building out my coaching skills. I was learning to do part-time coaching, etc. So by the time I left Shopee, I felt much more equipped to coach people. In fact, there were people who were ready and willing to pay me for the services. That's why I realized, hey, I kind of ready to make the next step already. Yeah, that's how it worked out for me.
Okay, so you were fearful, but you kept going, and the reality of people finding you, knocking on your door, gives you that sense of like maybe you're ready for that full time, and you jumped.
Yes.
Okay, amazing story. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely resonate with whatever you said about the feelings you had, whether what should you do and how do you jump. So for me, I was more focused on growth. So I do want to make impact, but there's a lot of focus on, am I growing as a person? Am I growing in whatever I choose to embark on? So whenever I felt like my growth was stagnant, I actually jumped. But on hindsight, there were a lot of lessons there that I needed to unpack. So for me, when I chose this path, I always wanted to grow myself and to create something that only I can create. So that desire has always been there in the first place. But growing up, I never really felt like I trusted myself. I never felt like I was good enough to do something. So that never good enough caused me to keep jumping as well. So I did experience a lot of amazing job opportunities and amazing people that were around me. However, there is something in me that is still not quenched from these experiences. I felt like there must be something more that I can do. There must be something bigger that I can contribute to. And that's also what brought me to discover that, hey, there's coaching, such a thing. So I walked on my own journey to discover about my life, realizing that I was living a narrative that we were being fed that, okay, you just graduate, do your work, and then you will, get married, and then you give birth, and then you die along the way, So I didn't align with that. Yeah, so I looked for answers, and when I found coaching, it was so fun, so fun. But like you, I was also not ready to make the jump so quickly. I spent a few years working on my self-trust and my self-doubt to overcome that. And eventually, when I felt that the doors were already opening, like more people were coming, and I felt that, okay, maybe this is the time that people can start to see my shine so that they can shine on their own. So that's what got me on my journey.
Yeah, I mean, hearing you, it's similar, right? In the sense that it was never a big leap. Like, we wanted to take a big leap, but reality kind of show us something different. But it's also about, I think the learning for us is also how do we take small steps along the way and keep going until you are ready to take that leap.
Exactly. I feel that many people underestimate the importance of the small steps because we may have this idea that, oh, in order to be successful, we only see the successful people once they succeed, but we don't see the many little steps that they actually walk to get to this point.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have to kept reminding myself this year as well that this is a totally different journey, totally different path that I choose, and I need to take my steps and clock them and get somewhere.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we have been doing all these step by steps, right? But I'm sure not every step is what we expected. There are a lot of surprises that I felt this year as well. So can I get you to share a little bit more about how did your journey turn out and what were the surprises along the way?
Yeah, I think there were two big surprises along the way. You know, like what I mentioned to you, I already started doing part-time coaching. So I thought I had a sense. But unfortunately, the sense wasn't enough.
Okay.
So the first big surprise was how on a day-in, day-out basis, I had to figure out what kind of structure I want to create.
Okay.
Because, you know, like in corporate, essentially, you have KPIs. Or even if you don't have KPIs, within your own domain, you know that this is kind of your domain. You plan for the KPIs and you work towards that. But when it comes to doing your own thing, it's almost like, how do I start? Where do I start? What kind of structure without any system that allows me to keep being motivated and keep doing it day in, day out, even when I don't see immediate results. So that becomes one of the big surprise. I think the other big surprise was really about the loss of identity. So again, I've been in corporate for 15 years. So when I first left, it felt like this identity has dissolved overnight. Because my identity was attached to 15 years of corporate, having achieved X, Y, Z achievement. Suddenly, it didn't matter. And I had to figure out a new identity that I could resonate with in my new phase of life so that I can, you know, then walk on this path in a more aligned way as well. That's kind of for me. But even within this 1 year that you have been, I'm sure you had your own challenges and surprises as well.
For sure. I actually wanted to add on to your first and second point. I want to ask you some questions, right? So in terms of the structure, how I felt from a corporate standpoint was that, I mean, I've been as a corporate person, there were a lot of directions that were being given to me, like this is your KPI, or you just set around the boundary because the boundary is kind of clear. But in your own business, then suddenly you have to set like, okay, business goals, your income target, etc. I kind of felt that was kind of confronting for me because in corporate, it's more of like it's a team effort, right? But now it's like me, myself, and I have to deliver this target. It can get actually kind of confronting for someone who transited this way. Did you experience something of this sorts for yourself?
Oh, definitely. And the way that I would label it is called I'm a one-man agency of my own. I am my own boss and CEO. I'm also kakia doing the work. I'm also the secretary. I'm also the salesperson. I'm also the delivery person. So what really helped for me was to figure out what are the different roles that I needed to play and in which moment what role am I playing, so that I don't get confused over, okay, what am I supposed to do next? Because it's so easy to get scattered when you're trying to play so many roles in one person.
I hear you. I think I need to put my boss in place to manage this whole thing. Okay, all right. As for your second point on the identity dissolving overnight, I love the way you put it, right? Because that's also exactly how I felt leaving the tech industry. And for many months, I was still like sneaking back and looking at the job openings and like then after that, of course there was a point that made me say that, okay, I'm going to commit to what I'm doing, but it was definitely a process of like recognizing that I'm no longer in that position, and that position and me, we are different things. But I was wearing that identity for a while, and then now I take that off. Who am I? Naked in that sense, right? So that's the thought that I had. And of course there were other clothes that I was still wearing with me, like my digital marketer clothes was still on. There was also that, I know digital marketing stuff, and then of course everything is moving very fast, and I have to also acknowledge that maybe that that identity that I'm holding on to is sort of outdated as well.
Yeah,
so there was a lot of confrontations that had to happen for me in this short year.
it does.
And it is, I mean, it is really really unexpected of how intense it had to feel. So that is something surprising for me. Yeah. So how about any other things that you got out of that were, exciting, that was like things that you wanted, right? Why you jumped out in the first place?
Yes, definitely. So one thing that I wanted was to have the freedom to actually decide what I want to do. So definitely I got a lot of that. In fact, sometimes I'm thinking maybe I have too much freedom already. I don't know what to do with it. But it became a great thing because my aim was being able to make an impact or direct impact on people as a coach, as someone who can guide them, advise them, etc. Which is what I've been doing. It's just that it turned out in different forms, be it in terms of coaching, training, teaching, etc. So, but one thing I will also say is with freedom come responsibility.
Yes.
Because whatever you choose to do or not choose to do, unfortunately, you have to bear the consequences. The other thing that was quite a pleasant surprise is how I felt that I could align stronger or connect stronger to my motivation. So similarly to you, like one thing I'm connected to is growth. And I realized that through the various things that I'm doing, be it all the career things that I'm doing, I'm also into public speaking, Toastmasters, improv, strategy games, etc. So all this actually allowed me to have a much more to feel that I'm living a much more purposeful, meaningful life that still makes sense in a more integrated way. Versus last time in corporate, yes, but this is work, and then the other part is this is life. So you kind of feel scattered, but now it's like both are integrating well together.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I feel you as well. It's like I do work like from Monday to Sunday, but of course there are windows in between that I can do my own things, and that is my sort of work-life integration in also many words. Of course, I wish that I will be able to leverage to my next chapter where I don't need to be the only one doing everything myself. But for now, I think that is the process that I still need to go through as part of it. There are a lot of career trends right now. There are a lot of uncertainty happening right now because the world is moving so fast with AI, with other things happening, and it can be quite challenging to actually decide what's the next step or for the next chapter. So what would you say to someone who is actually facing these uncertainties in these times?
I think for anyone who face uncertainty, most of the time what we want is certainty.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I think it's not possible to be 100% certain. So I would say that, at least for what I've learned from myself, is one, learn to be comfortable with uncertainty. Because when we are more comfortable with uncertainty, it doesn't matter whether things are certain or not. We still move ahead despite of the uncertainty. The second one is actually to learn to gather insights, reflections, data points while we are doing various things. Because all points to how we can do things better, more effectively, and what we resonate with to allow us to move in the direction that we want. And the third thing is get support. Like, even though I'm a coach, I've gotten many coaches myself to help me on this journey as well. So I would say these are the 3 points of advice that I'll give to anyone trying to figure out this uncertainty. Yeah, but how about for you? Even within this 1 year, what advice would you give to someone who is trying to take the first step?
So I would say that for me, the journey had been a lot about learning fast, pivoting fast, not just externally, but also internally as well. So for me, there are a lot of things that I had to unlearn about myself. And unlearning could be that my fixation about what segmentation is, for example, or what target audience is. I have to be able to understand that it's about me going to reach out to different audiences instead of feeling boxed up by myself. So what I actually want to say is that in this journey, in order to become someone you are not, you have to first know who you are right now, so that in order for you to reach the next level, there are certain things that you have to unlearn about yourself. And then there are certain OS that you need to install into your new self, such that you can actually go on to be the next level person that can handle the next chapter that you want to do. So how I feel is that it's really about constantly reinventing yourself. And naturally there will be blind spots, so I do recommend people to go and speak to people who potentially can help them. It could be a mentor character, could be a coach, it could be a friend, whoever. But sometimes having that alternate perspectives will help you shake things up and travel further and be more holistic in your planning, I would say. So that is something that I personally would advise people on, is to really know yourself better and to decide what is your next level game that you want to play.
Definitely. I think ultimately for us, it's not really about just, oh, what do I want to do for my next job, next career. It's about how do we want to really live our life, right?
Exactly. Yes. I love the part where you say that you want freedom and then you work for it, and that's where you are at the moment. And for me, there is this and the impact and the magic that you want to create as well. And for me, that shine thing, I believe it will also grow and transcend in different ways as I go along the journey. And for now, the amazingness of seeing how my clients shine when they get their realizations, when they realize that they make something work, is something that I can definitely hold on to for a long time to come.
Definitely.
Yeah. So the last question we have here for you is like, what keeps you going on this path despite the uncertainty, the challenges that you have?
For me, it has always been about what is the type of life that I want to live rather than what is the job that I want to have. And walking my own path has been very fulfilling despite the uncertainties, despite the difficulties. And what I realized was that if I give up now, I will keep giving up. And instead of me giving up on what I love, why don't I try for once to really make it work? And to show to myself that I can actually make it work. And to show to myself that I can actually manifest the possibilities that I see. Yeah, so that's kind of for me. And I really think it's very, very, very important to keep going. Like, we might need to take a pause, we might need to rest, but just don't give up on your path.
I love it. Don't give up on your path.
Then for you, what is it that will allow you to keep going?
So for me, what allows me to keep going is seeing how people light up. I think the light and the shine is something that is very important for me, because it is something that I didn't have, and through being coached or certain conversations, certain people that I have met, like the master coaches that we learn from, I was able to see a totally different world. And I truly believe that if we are able to really take actions intentionally, we'll at least get somewhere that we want it more. So like what you said about, how can you get closer to the goal that you wanted, and that in itself, the progress is already worth celebrating. And because the progress is worth celebrating and there can be consistent progress, then walk, don't give up on that path. And thank you, Hung Yi, for being here today. This was a very fruitful conversation, and I hope that you enjoyed your time here.
Definitely.
So for those watching, if you'd like to connect with us, please connect with us on LinkedIn or find more details in the description below.
And if you feel that you resonate with what we said, feel free to drop us a DM as well. We would love to hear your stories as well.
Yes, definitely. All right. Thank you. Have a nice day and have a great life. Bye-bye.